And hello, everyone. Welcome back to the DCAP. Today we'll be doing another ranking the top blank positions, and we will be doing shooting guards today. And I took a couple suggestions from people around me, and so for today I will be reading from 10 to 1 this time. And yes, you just heard a sneak peek at the next one, is to shrink it from 15 to 10 as the videos may be a bit long. So we'll be doing 10 to 1 with some honorable mentions, of course. So I have two honorable mentions for today, Andrew Wiggins and Evan Fournier. Andrew Wiggins started the season off well, but then slowed down. So based on the beginning of the 2019 to 2020 stats and just his play style and his production, Andrew Wiggins probably would have been on this list, but he dipped a little bit, returned to his average self. He is averaging 22 points, but it's not very efficient with not great defense. But Andrew Wiggins did get traded to the Warriors, and I really think that he could do very well on the Warriors. Now we have Evan Fournier, who Evan Fournier is just a good role player that can score you points. And on a normal team that's contending, he wouldn't be averaging 19 points like he is, but obviously being on a bad Magic team, it's really him and Vucevic as the top two players, so he's going to score. He only has 3 rebounds, 3 assists, which tells you he honestly is kind of only scoring. Now, starting the top 10, we have Buddy Hield at number 10. Averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He did take a big step backwards, three-point statistic-wise, as he's now, I think he was 37th in his percentage, 39, which is still good, but for him, he's more of a sharpshooter, so he needs to hit more. He did win the 3-point championship, but it's just, if his play style, he needs to be perfect at what he does to be better on this list. Now, number 9, Jalen Brown. He keeps just taking ginormous jumps, and him and Jason Tatum will be a scary duo for the future. He's so good on the defensive end, and he's also developing a good offensive game, averaging 20 points, and he's underrated on the rebounds point of view, averaging 6 rebounds. All these stats have been 2019 to 2020 before quarantine. Jalen Brown, his defense is great. It always has been in his career. It's just his offense have been lacking, and he's been bringing the production up each year. And this year he finally has been hitting that 20 mark. And I really think he will continue to progress, continue to raise on this list. Speaking of defense, or not defense, next at number 8, we have Zach LaVine. Now, people might say this is a little low, but I really think Zach LaVine may be a little bit overrated. He does average 26 points, but he has terrible defense, and he only has 26 points because he's on a bad Bulls team. If on a championship team, I really think he would have to be a 3rd or 4th option. But I also do like Zach LaVine. If he was a 6th man, I think he would really flourish, maybe a better Lou Will. But Zach LaVine, number 8, great at offense, bad at defense. And someone who is good at defense is Jrue Holiday, number 7. Jrue Holiday doesn't have the offensive numbers that the guys in front of him will have, or even the guys behind him like Zach LaVine. But he still averages 20 points, and his defense is elite, as well as his playmaking, as Jrue Holiday is getting 7 assists tonight, feeding Zion, B.I., Brendan Ingram, Jackson Hayes on some lobs, and he also grabs 5 rebounds as well. Jrue Holiday is he's a great not point guard. He's a great shooting guard that you'd want to have, and he could be considered a point guard, but this year he's played more of a shooting guard role next to Lonzo. But he's such a well-rounded player. He slid into that shooting guard nicely, as he can focus a little more on shooting to up those numbers. But Jrue Holiday, just a complete player. He's a great shooting guard. You can afford to have a bad defensive point guard if you have Jrue Holiday, as he can pick up the better offensive player that you're going against. So that's a really nice plus to have with him. And I don't know. I really like Drew Holiday. People may say it's crazy to have him above Zach LaVine, but I feel like Zach LaVine might be a bit overrated and Drew Holiday a bit underrated. Number 6, CJ McCollum. Now, when I was mentioning Damian Lillard in the last video, hopefully you've watched it, I was saying how I didn't really like CJ McCollum. So seeing him this high, maybe that you could consider this high for him, but seeing him this high may surprise some of you. But I still see how he can get you a bucket, which I like in players. He averages 23 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. It's just someone that slides in next to Damian Lillard. With Damian Lillard's talent, CJ McCollum should be able to push them over to the edge to get them to a contending team, but he just can't do that. He's not good enough of a player. He still is good. It's just there's definitely shooting guards that are better than him. One of them, Donovan Mitchell, number 5. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 24 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. And yeah, he's had some issues with the Jazz as of late, with Rudy Gobert being a bit reckless, but that doesn't take away how good of a player Donovan Mitchell is. Any team would be lucky to have him. As he's young, he's going to get a lot better, and he's a great offensive player. He's not terrible on defense, and his playmaking isn't elite, but it's definitely getting better, as he doesn't really have anyone else on his team that scores well, so he can't really get assists like people in front of him. But Donovan Mitchell, definitely a player that you would want on your team. I'm kind of hoping the Knicks find a way to trade for him because I'm a Knicks fan. But Donovan Mitchell, number 5, great player, will get a lot better, but he just isn't as good as the players up above him. And number 4, Devin Booker. Devin Booker isn't as well-rounded as Donovan Mitchell, but Devin Booker is amazing and on the offensive end, averaging 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. Devin Booker, his playmaking, I feel like is underrated, as people don't realize he does average 7 assists, but Devin Booker does average 7 assists. And he also gets his buckets, 26 points, and every year he's in contention for 50, 40, 90. Maybe not as much as Chris Middleton, but he's not shooting like maybe Andrew Wiggins. Even he has gotten better, though. But Devin Booker, great on offense, bad on defense. But I feel like shooting guards in this league, the more offense you have, the less defense you have, which is why the elite two-way players are so good in this league. But Devin Booker, it's just you can tell from childhood, he was focused more on offense. He was the guy that would get your team a bucket. Although I do feel Devin Booker will never be able to be the number 1 option on a championship team. He needs a player that's better than him, whether that be DeAndre Ayton, whether that be a future draft pick, a future signing. Just he needs a better player to help him out with the load. But Devin Booker, definitely a great player. And his game is similar to the person at number 3. It's just I feel like his offensive production is not as good, and that is Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is averaging 30 points, and although his team success might not be as good as Devin Booker's, although Devin Booker hasn't had good team success, it's just Bradley Beal's team is a lot worse, and so honestly, it's only him taking the shots, and that's why he is number 3 ahead of Devin Booker. Well, not him taking the shots, but him making the shots is why he's number 3. He's just a great scorer, and you want him on your team. 30 points a night, yeah, that might be on the not most efficient shooting, but it's still 30 points a game, which can definitely win a team a game. Also, he averages 6 assists, which is not bad. Speaking especially because he doesn't have the best players around him. He's Thomas Bryant as arguably his second best player, which is bad. So Bradley Beal, number 3 on my list, and a step above Bradley, Devin Booker, Donovan, are my top 2 who can definitely who are interchangeable. You can say 1A, 1B, and that is James Harden and Luka Doncic. Now, I'm going to put James Harden at number 1, Luka at number 2, because I feel like they're about the same they're about the same in talent, but I'm just going to give the nod to James Harden because he showed that he's been so good for so many years. And Luka Doncic is more well-rounded on the offensive end. But James Harden, his points make up for that. He's averaging 34 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, which people underestimate James Harden rebounds and assist numbers because he also can pass to Russell Westbrook. Luka Doncic, though, is a triple-double machine, averaging 29 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, gets a bunch of triple-doubles. He's like a Russell Westbrook that can shoot better, which is scary. And but James Harden, I feel like his points really just put him over the edge, his experience. Luka Doncic does possibly have better defense. I don't know. They're both not amazing defenders, although James Harden's defense is underrated, as he was criticized for not trying, so he started trying, and he's not terrible right now. Well, not right now because of quarantine, but... Okay, so James Harden number 1, Luka Doncic number 2. Both elite players. I would say they're definitely a step above 3, 4, 5, etc. because they're just elite players. They're both probably top 7 in the NBA, whereas Bradley Beal is like 15 to 20 range. So definitely a drop, but James Harden, Luka Doncic, 1, 2. So I'll go over my list once again. 1, James Harden. 2, Luka Doncic. 3, Bradley Beal. 4, Devin Booker. 5, Donovan Mitchell. 6, CJ McCollum. 7, Drew Holiday. 8, Zach LaVine. 9, Jalen Brown. 10, Buddy Hield, with honorable mentions of Andrew Wiggins and Evan Fournier. So in the comments below, I want you to comment anything that you disagree with or agree with. Maybe start a couple debates with other people. And add some suggestions for the next video because I do like to see your suggestions. So thank you so much for watching. You know, I always like to say I hope you relaxed, but yes, I hope you were relaxed. I hope you were calm through this terrible time. I hope you had fun watching this, and I hope you come back for more. And peace.